Affirm. Copy, more.
In 2020, we had the Labor Day fires, and these were a series of fires across of Oregon.
I copied direct on where I can.
It was a really freak event where there were these really, really strong winds. And also extremely dry conditions. This type of fire is also called stand replacing, and that's where we have really high tree mortality. There's always some high severity in a fire in places across the West, but it's usually, 5 to 10%, it's pretty low. What we saw in the Holiday Farm fire was more about 24% high severity. So really historically unprecedented. And most of this land is actually privately owned, and most of this land is harvested forests. And so there were just extreme losses by those land managers. It is in some ways a really uniquely strange landscape in that it has been so disturbed, but it also gave us a really large kind of landscape to do experimentation on. This area was a really high severity burn, so there was about 90% or more tree mortality. Something about the area is, with these many rounds of timber harvesting and these really large, now, clear-cut areas, there aren't that many native plants that came in by themselves. So we planted native plants in these different areas to kind of boost the floral availability for pollinators. I hope they got something really interesting.
Got him!
I just gotta catch one.
So at Whitewater Ranch, we have 2 experiments going on. The first involves the Environmental Leadership Program, and it was just a question of, can we plant native seeds in clear cuts, and will they do well? Because we thought, more native plants, more bees. We saw fantastic results. And this led to a much larger grant and a much larger project across the entire kind of McKenzie River basin. So we enhanced a whole variety of stands with these native seeds that did really well in this initial experiment in whitewater. So we have whitewater, we have these really large-scale timber owners, and we have, I think, over 20 enhancements across the basin. And they're all doing great. Okay, so did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it in the net? Okay.
Yeah.
We're seeing lots of really interesting bees show up. We're seeing abundance increase from year to year. We're actually seeing that those bee communities are actually healthier, so they have lower parasite loads than in areas without these enhancements. And, overall, it's been just a tremendous success. It's a really hopeful message in terms of, harvested forests. Managers who want to promote pollinators on their land have a really easy tool for doing so. Right now, our agricultural system is investing almost exclusively in the stock of the European honeybee. This year, beekeepers are reporting the highest losses they've ever seen. I think it's another kind of call to action that we need to diversify our American pollination systems to protect American agriculture. Research, studying, how do we promote pollination systems in different landscapes, not just harvested forests, but urban environments, agricultural environments, natural systems everywhere, is going to benefit the long-term resilience of our U.S. agricultural system. I imagine if you had walked through those forests before the fire, they were very quiet and very peaceful, but you wouldn't see a lot of flowering plants. You wouldn't see a lot of bees. And now that they have burned, we do see a lot of life. And we also see those communities rebuilding and coming back. So, overall, I feel like it's a story of, a change in the ecosystem, but a change towards something that's also beautiful in its own way.